Okay, so welcome everyone to today's class. This is the third live session. And in today's class, we are going to be focusing on human resources in education. Human resources in education. This is an offshoot of as I was saying, this is an offshoot of the team building that we mentioned the other time. And then in today's class, we are going to be looking at human resources in the education field or in an education organization. Let me start with this. The concept of human resources in education is still something we need to still work on. Why? Because we know human resources generally in corporate organization or other organization outside education. The word HR in education is not really formed. Hardly will you see any educational organization, especially schools, having a human resources department. It's very rare, and it is not far-fetched. It's because we are not used to all of this in the sector. But some of us are trying to push for it now and encourage school owners and school leaders to begin to create that department. So the essence of today's lecture, we open your eyes to why there is a need for human resources in your school. And then again, it will also open your eyes to see the need for building a strong human relationship with your co-workers, because this forms the bedrock of results and productivity as far as an organization is concerned. Before I go into the lecture fully, permit me to ask you these ice-breaking questions. Now, before I ask, can somebody tell me? I know you have heard the word human resources before. You've heard the word human resources. When they talk about, I want us to identify 3 key resources in an education organization. In your own thinking, mention 3 key resources in a typical education organization. I want to answer in the comment box. Tell me some of the resources that you know within that is very vital in a typical education organization. I would need to have your answer in the comment box. I will need to have your answer in the comment box. Let's just stress ourselves and try to see what we know. Can I have feedback? We have a long way to go to. Okay, somebody is trying to talk. Okay, let me have you.
And secondly, we have found the hacker.
Okay. Can I have feedback? Can I have feedback? Some of the resources within an educational organization. Who is talking? Like I said, I will need a lot of feedback. My class is always interactive. My class is always interactive. I don't want you to listen alone. I want you to participate. These are everyday experiences that we have, that we see, that we experience. Okay, somebody is saying financial resources. Okay. Now, for me personally, there are three major resources that I believe is the most important. Number one is facility resources, facilities. A typical education organization has facilities as a major core of the resources that they have. The chalkboard, the projectors, and every other thing within the generators, and every other thing, they are categorized under facility. And then so they are your resources within that organization. And of course, they are something that you need to cherish, to work on, to improve, to make better, to make available, etc. Another one is your financial resources, because outside the facilities that you have, the next thing is money that you need to have to run the school. And then the third one is the human resources. These are tangible resources. Of course, in a typical, resources are either tangible or intangible. Tangible means the ones that you can see and you can hold. Intangible means the one that you cannot see. One of the intangible resources are the emotional resources and majorly time. But facilities, financial, and human resources are the major tangible resources an educational organization has. May I tell you that out of these resources, the most important is the human resources. The most important resources is the human resources. Why? Because you need people to run the facilities or to make use of the facilities. You still need people to make the money. The money that you want to use, you need people to make it, you need people to multiply it, and you need people to manage it. So human resources is the greatest resource any education organization can have. And that is why I am coming from this angle, so that we can understand that the greatest resource that you have within your reach as a leader is the people that are working with you. Now, years, human resources were called personal management resources or operational personnel management resources. Now, the essence of personnel management then was to force people to work in order to achieve a particular goal. But in 21st century, the personnel management has been changed to human resources management, because we understood that human resources are the greatest asset of any organization, and hence they cannot be coerced. However, they can be influenced to achieve whatever purpose the organization wants to achieve. Again, may I say that as a leader, you have three key functions as far as the resources in your organization is concerned. You have three key functions as far as your organization is concerned. Number one is that you need to make the resources. Your work as a leader is to make the resources. Still go back to the last slide. I'm still doing introduction. Your work as a leader is to make the resources. That means that you need to make the people so that they can be able to work with you. You need to make the money so that they can be function and grow the organization. Then you need to multiply the resources. So you are making, you are managing, you are multiplying all the resources. As a leader, as a good leader, we measure your level of success by your ability to make, to manage, and to multiply. Your ability to make, to manage, and to multiply. So whatever resources that you have, you must be able to make them, you must be able to manage them, and you must be able to multiply them. The facilities that you have now and what you are going to have in the next 2 years, there must be a difference. We measure you by that. That means if the facilities within your organization is still the same as that of last year, that means your school is not growing. And as a leader, you are not growing as well. So human resources management involves making people, managing people, multiplying people in order to achieve organizational goal. It's as simple as that. Now, in theory, you are supposed to have a department. And this is one of the things I tell now. Let's assume you are not even able to afford. Let's assume you are not able to afford to get what's it called? You are not able to afford to hire a human resource management personnel. You can as well train one or two of your teachers and let them begin to serve that purpose. And of course, you are also here now. You are learning, and you are still going to learn more, so that you can also function as a human resource personnel. But it's always good that an organization. So if you are a private organization, please take note. You need to have that department in your organization. If you are a public organization, you can train. We are going to be doing a training on human resources by the grace of God in July for people that are interested. You can send your people to training. Let them be trained on human resources management, so that as you go on, you begin to see why you need human resources within the organization. So, like I've said, human resources management is a department or oversees making people, because people are the greatest. The people in an organization are the greatest resources in that organization. In fact, it is people that make purpose to become a product. It is people that ensure that processes are done and products are achieved. So whatever products you want to see, whatever processes you want to put in place, it is people that make it. Whatever purposes that you want to achieve, it is people that still make it. So your attention must be geared towards making, managing, and multiplying people as a leader. So let's look at, we are still on this slide, let's look at the various aspects of human resources. Generally, human resources have 5 key major aspects. Human resources have 5 key major aspects. Number 1, I will start from the list, because we have a subunit, what is called human resources planning. I usually tell school owners this. It is not when somebody wants to go that you now begin to think that you need to find replacement. Your organization must be systemic and structured such that you have plans for human resources in your organization, so that there are succession plans, there are management plans, there are policy plans. So there is one of the key aspects of human resources is to plan, human resources planning, so that in the next 5 years, you begin to look at what are the kind of people you want to have in this organization. In my last lesson, I talked about team. As a leader, you must be intentional about the team that you want to build, the kind of persons you want to have within your organization, because the kind of persons you have determine the kind of product you get. So it is important that you look at the kind of persons that you want to have. So part of human resources planning is that this organization, this is our goal, these are the things we want to achieve. So we want to look at who are the people that we need. So the question on planning is, who are the people that we need? We must be able to state clearly their job description, their roles, their qualities, their skill, and so on. Who is one of the questions in planning. Number 2 is when. When do we need people to come in? It is not when somebody leaves that you begin to think of when. You must have think of when and have made adequate preparation for it. So we begin to look at when, where do we want to get the people? Another part of the planning is how. So I've asked, so in human resources planning, which is also a sub part of human resources management, there are 4 or 5 questions that we ask. Who do we need? When do we need them? How do we want to get them? What are the things that we need in them? So these are questions that we need to ask and that we ask. So we ask those questions so that they are well documented and the organization is well structured. Another aspect of human resources after we have planned is recruitment. Recruitment or employee recruitment or hiring services. Now, under hiring services, we have applications. We have now. May I say this? I don't know if it's common in Kenya or in South Africa or in Uganda, but in Nigeria specifically or Ghana. In Nigeria specifically, that there is a problem within educational space, and one of the problems is that people or organization just employ artists, and then this is not really helping. That in February we did a program called the School Business Program, where we had school owners. School owners came on board, and one of the things that we found out that is about 95% of the school owners had one major issue: people problem. The major problem they had was people problem. So in my interaction with them, I found out that most of them get it wrong in the place of planning and recruitment. Now, in corporate organization, hardly do you see people employ people anyhow. Hardly will you see people employ people anyhow. There must be due process. So in your own organization, as leaders, you must begin to look at following due process. You have planned, so you must follow the plan strictly. And to ensure you follow the plan strictly, there must be templates. And this is the template by which you bring people to the organization. Again, there must be planning. Now, after planning, there must be bringing people into the organization. That's you are making people. One of them is there must be proper application. People must apply properly. And then in your application, you are stating the job description, the skill that is required, the experiences that are required, and so on. Then after planning, after application, there must be screening. Now, don't forget that you have planned. So in your planning, you will now begin to look who suit the requirement that we have put, that we need. You must be able to, in your planning, you must be able to state clearly the kind of person the organization will need in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, because you must have goal, you must have a leadership master plan, you must have a blueprint that you are working with that. By this so time, our organization would have been here, and these are the kind of person we are going to be needing. So, you screen. After screening, you now begin to look at. After screening, you now begin to look at. Please, can you mute yourself, please? You are leaders, please. You are coming in, mute yourself. Thank you. Now, having said that, the next thing you are going to look at is your after screening, your interview. Now, the essence of screening is for you to look at your plan and who you need, who you want within the organization. The essence of interview is to now get a raw data, an interface where you are able to uncover, discover, and unleash whatever thing that are hidden. You want to know the person that is coming in. You want to know the person so that you are able to know the skill set and how you are going to plan the development of the person. Now, may I say this in all honesty? Nobody wants to work in a place where there is no good. May I repeat? Nobody wants to work in a place where there are no blueprints and evidences that there is a progress or growth here. If it was me, I cannot stay in a place where after 3 months, there's nothing that has been added to me. If it is that every single time I'm the person giving out and nothing is being added to me, I won't be able to function. So one of the things that you need to quickly work on is for you to, when the person is now coming back, begin to ask if there is something like this in place for you. How do you cope? If this is our what's it called? How do you blend? This is our prototype. How we work? How do you want to cope and so on? So these are important things that you have. After interview, the next thing is formalization. I don't know if it's happening in other parts of Africa, but in Nigeria, I have seen very few schools employing people without letter of appointment. Now, you need to learn how to formalize appointing people, such that it is on record that they are given. Now, before the appointment letter, another thing you need to do is what is called onboarding. Now, I also note that whether you are public or private, this applies to you. I also note that most organizations do not properly onboard their human resources. In the aspect of onboarding, what we mean is that the person understood the job description. Of course, you have put it there, but you want to bring it back so that the person understood what is coming to do. What role, apart from teaching, what role is he going to perform, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, part of human resources management is that you are able to match the skill, the knowledge, the experience, and the attitude of the person to what you want to give them. It must match. The skill, let me repeat, the skill, the knowledge, the attitude, and the experience of the person must match whatever role they want to play in the organization, or else you will not be able to deliver. So in the onboarding process, you want to tell them about the history of the organization, about key people that matters. I usually tell people, some people say it doesn't matter. You just don't expect that somebody apply today, you give the person employment, and boom, the person enter the class. No, it is wrong. So if you have people that are doing it, please, we need to readjust ourselves, and that's why we are here. So the person must be properly onboarded. The history of the place, the key leaders, people that are working there, the person must go through the staff policy, and whatever other policy. Again, may I say this, in your school, ensure that you have key policies. These are things that guides behavior and attitude. So there must be keep the school policy, the staff policy that contains when to come, when to go, what holiday you need to have, and so on. So the person will be properly briefed about their job description, the policies in the school, the history of the school, the people that matter in the school, the facilities, the student, and so on. So the person has a broad knowledge. It is erroneous for them to learn by experience in the organization. Even if they are going to learn by experience, it will be minimal, or else they will spoil things for you. They must act based on knowledge, and you are expected to have punished them with required knowledge. Before those are onboarding process. Now, apart from punishing them with information in your body, part of onboarding process again is for you to train them, personal training. Maybe one of the roles you want to give them require ICT skill, and the person is not well grounded. The person can be engaged with 1 or 2 day training on ICT so that they can be able to perform. So training and onboarding, training and orientation, proper information sessions must be done. These are your body before you now provide them with the letter of appointment and officializing whatever it is, giving them their space and everything. These processes are very important. One, they show that your organization is systemic. Number two, it shows that the organization is structured. Number three, it shows that there are strategies in place for the person to grow and for them to also ensure that the organization grows. So they create a sense of responsibility. They create a sense of professionalism. And if somebody is treated to that extent, the person understands that here there are levels of professionalism. Of course, the person in your training too, they are able to know the structure of the organization, how the organization is structured, so that they know who to answer to, where to go. All these are very important. These are all parts of recruitment, and it's a major function of human resources. Now, after recruitment, another major aspect of human resources is training. I usually tell organizations that if you don't train them, you don't have the right to gain them. If you don't train them, don't gain them. The word gain them is that you don't have the right to punish somebody that you have not trained. You don't have the right to complain about somebody that you have not properly put through. So part of the work of human resources management is to train those people. Don't forget, your planning and onboarding processes, recruitment processes are to make. Now, if you want to multiply, you need to train. It is when they are trained and their level of skill, knowledge, experience increase, that is when they can actually multiply for you. Productivity is a function of investment. People do not become productive overnight. It requires a level of, so the level of investment you have on them determines the output. So you must train people to multiply the results they are producing. So that is how to multiply. I have talked about, and like I said, the summary of human resources management as a leader is to make, to multiply, and to manage. And every leader must be able to achieve this. Now, having said that, again, may I say that after training, the next one under human resources is what is called employer-employee relations. Employer-employee relation. And the essence of employer-employee relation is to manage people. The essence of employer-employee relations is to manage people. I think we have a grand move here. When you are coming in, mute your mics. The essence of employer-employee relations is to manage people. So one of the work of human resources is to ensure an effective employer or an employee relations or a leader-follower relations, as you want to put it. Again, another aspect is the compensation and welfare. Compensation and welfare. If it's a private organization, this person called Munak or something, please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. The essence of compensation is to still manage and multiply at the same time. Your organization must have, if it's a private organization, must have a compensation plan. Now, if it's a public organization, the government has a compensation plan. However, the welfare plan must also be included. Now, when we talk about welfare, it is one of the aspects people neglect a lot. Now, if you want to increase the productivity of people, you must take care of them. And there are a lot of ways in which we can do that. When we get to that point, I'll be talking about each of them one after the other. So these are key areas of human resources: the planning, the recruitment, the training, the employee relation, and of course, the compensation and welfare. These are 5 key major areas or function of human resources management. Now, having said that, you can move to the next slide now. Please move to the next slide. I thought you were putting the slide on. Move to the next slide. Can you make it visible so I can see? Make it visible. Enlarge it. Nancy, please, can you hear me? Nancy, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here and it's on slideshow, so it's the last size.
Now enlarge it. Make it just slide by slide. It's not okay, but don't worry. Okay, don't worry. I have it now. Don't worry. I'm able to do it for you. Now, like I've said, these are things. If you check this slide, the key work or the key aspect of human resources, who is this person? Please, this Munaka, I might remove you if you don't mute your mics. I might remove you. There is a ground rule. Okay. Now, having said that, please let's go back to the slide. Now, the key word as a leader when you are managing your human resources, these are the keywords. I just put it there for you to see. Number 1 is teamwork. Everybody must understand and internalize that here what we do is we work as a team. Number 2, everybody must also understand that the essence of being in the organization is growth. And then they must, and of course, there must be something on ground. You must have put trainings, welfare packages, and so on, reward system on ground that will ensure that people really believe that they are here to go. Because one of the key indicators that you are managing your people well is that the organization is growing and the people under you are also growing. If it is a one-way traffic that the organization is growing, your people will get frustrated and in the long run it will decline. So, in the key word in human resources management is that the human resource are growing and the organization is also growing. Another key word here is vision. Everybody must understand that they are working towards a certain vision or actualizing the vision. And then everybody must also understand that they are partner in progress. This must be your human resources statement. This must be your human resources statement. And everybody must internalize it that all of us are partners in progress. So they must be able to understand this. And then again, they must also understand that there is reward for anybody that does what is necessary. So these are keywords in human resources. Next slide. I'll just take them very, very, very brief so that I want us to now engage in some discussions. That next slide, Nisi. Nisi, next slide. Can you hear me, please? Now, let's now take, I've talked about the function the other time. Let's take functions. Those are the 5 key functions I've mentioned. Now, we now want to take them one by one so we can have, now, one of the key functions of managing the human resources is training and development. You must be able to train. If you want to improve your teachers, if you want to improve their performance, if you want to improve learning outcomes, if you want to increase the growth, if you want to increase the GDP of the school, the economic value of the school, and organization effectiveness, there must be training and development. In fact, you must have training and development plans. May I say this with all? There must be training and development plan. If somebody is coming in, and then after you have assessed them through your interview and onboarding process, there must be, through your onboarding, process, you must be able to identify. Then again, may I say this? Leaders, assess your people. And another one that I did not mention, before I forget, is performance management. It's one of the key functions of human resources. Performance management. I'll talk about performance management later. You must be able to assess your people and identify their skill gaps and training needs. It's your work as a leader. Please still go back to the last slide. It's your work as a leader to identify their skill gap, their knowledge gap, their experience gap, their attitude gap, their expertise gap, and be able to understand what training or growth and development is needed to achieve it. Now, I have observed over time that if you have training plans for your people, they tend to be more committed because they know that you have them at heart. You want them to improve. There is nobody that you want to improve that will not want to improve the organization too. And it must be evident. Let them see. It must not be by mouth. Don't say they know. No. And as a person is coming in, let them see that these are our training plans. We have a development plan for every teacher that is coming in. And the more you go and develop, the more benefit you achieve. People will want to be committed to that kind of organization. So there must be periodic assessment to identify the gaps and the needs and be able to fix it immediately. Now, what type of training can you do? You can do in-service training. You can do leadership development. Now, I usually tell, especially for private organizations, one of the problems that private organizations have is sustainability and transition. I have seen people leaving and the organization is not able to replace that person. Why? Because the leader does not have the foresight. As a leader, your sight, the foresight, the eyesight, the insight, and the insight must be effective. You must be able to envisage that what if this person leaves? What becomes the organization? And of course, because you have anticipated, you must have transition plan. And one of the transition plan is to build people in leadership capacity so that when somebody leaves, somebody takes over. In fact, I usually say this, that an organization goal when it has more leaders than followers. An organization is able to multiply when there are more leaders than followers. What do I mean by that? Your teachers they must not only be teachers, they must be leaders, they must be teacher leaders, such that they are able to influence. The more leaders you have, the more ladders the organization will cross or will reach. The more leaders you have, the more ladders the organization will climb. So it is important that you begin to look at these gaps within your organization and you begin to push it. So you can have a mentoring. Part of training and development is mentoring. You can have a peer mentoring. The older staff, in fact, I usually recommend that when somebody is coming into your organization, let them have a mentor within that organization so that they can continue to mentor them to become better. So there can be peer mentoring. 2-3 persons have said, okay, we mentor these people so that they can go. And the person that is higher up can also, so that the people that are coming up can also meet up with them. So this is how you build organization. You can also coach. The next slide. So training is very important. So what is the essence of training and development? Number one, it will boost productivity. It will help to retain talent People stay where they go. It is foolishness for people to leave when they know they are going in a particular place. In fact, understand that your human resources, your people have professional goals that they want to achieve. Your people have targets they also want to achieve. It is both that allow the goals to be achieved. It is when they are going that the goals can be achieved. So it is important that if you want to retain talent, you must grow their goals and help them achieve their visions. So talent retention is a function of the growth individual is experiencing, and the growth of individual will culminate with the growth of the organization. Now, training and development, we also have to manage risk. People that you are not training. If you are not training people, the organization is at a risk because people can make mistakes because they are not trained. And the mistake can cost the organization. So it will put opportunity to retain talent, it will help to manage it. It will enhance performance. If, for instance, the training that you have come to now, we believe that this training should be able to enhance your performance as a leader in that organization. So when you do that for your followers as well, they will gain one or two things and begin to apply it as well. It will make them to perform better. Now, it will help you to be able to analyze trends of development within your organization. You'll be able to measure growth. When you train people, there is an expectation that you are expecting. So when the training comes, you're able to measure the growth of the people and the organization as well. And then you're able to incorporate the culture of learning. Part of your growth and development plan is to ensure that your teachers are reading books. I did it for you in this program. They are reading books, they are attending seminars, they are paying for courses, and so on. So you must internalize and institutionalize learning. You must internalize and institutionalize learning so that people understand, they have the mentality that without learning, there can't be any. Without learning, there can't be growth. It is important that we understand this. Now, the second aspect, move on to the next slide. Now, the second aspect, Nisi, move on to the next slide. I hope you are with me. Nisi, are you there? Now, I have mentioned methods of training, workshops, conferences, online courses, peer observation, and action. Move on to the next slide. We are done with training. Let's go to another aspect of human resources. Next slide. Now, we have looked at benefits of training the other time: improve teacher effectiveness, increase student achievement, enhance organizational capacity, better teacher retention, and increase collaboration. Next slide. Now, challenges in training. Now, one of the challenges in training is limited resources. We are going to write all these ones down. And in our discussion time, you are going to tell me these are key challenges that as far as training and development within our education organization is concerned. We have looked at all of them. And then number one is limited resources. The financial resources, the human resources to train and the like. Number two is resistance to change. And all of you will be saying, yeah, what if they don't want to develop? So this is a challenge. The third one is sustainability. Can we sustain it? Can we make sure that we are training every 2 months in a term and it is sustainable? We are doing it over time. It's a challenge. What if the person leaves? It's also a challenge. Can we sustain it? And so on. Then the next one is evaluation assessment. How do we evaluate and assess that we are trained? That's another one. The third one, the last one is technology integration. How do we take technology in training and development such that it doesn't have to be manual, it doesn't have to be analog? How do we make it digital, like you are having online courses now? So these key challenges, you are going to write it out, and you are going to be telling me how you want to overcome the challenges of training. I am putting training first because I believe training plays one of the most important roles in multiplying your human resources. So you are going to be telling me how you intend to have it at the back of the mind, how you intend to overcome the challenges of training and development. Let's move to the next slide. Now, the best practices in training and development needs assessment. You must be able to identify the needs. Like I've said, you must be able to identify the needs of your people, their gap, the skill gap. Then, of course, you can use personalized learning. Each person, you are sharing videos with them, you are giving them targets that before the end of the week, in fact, you must have a training timetable such that you are saying at the end of first month of resumption, all of us will be able to know how to play slide and so on. So you are providing, everybody is getting the opportunity for personalized, and you are providing them with videos, content, and the likes, so that they are able to learn. Coaching and mentoring, you can assign mentors and coaches to train them, collaboration and teamwork, and of course, evaluation and feedbacks. Now, the next slide. Because of time, the next slide. Now, the next one is performance management. Performance is one of the key functions in human resources management. Now, you must be able to multiply, like I said, multiply, and manage the performance. In fact, it's one of the key skills of a school leader, manager, or owner. You must be able to manage people's performance. In fact, in managing, you must be able to measure by reason of management. So what you cannot measure, you cannot manage. What you cannot manage, you cannot multiply. Please take note of this. What you cannot measure, you cannot manage. What you cannot manage, you cannot multiply. So if you want high level of productivity within your organization, you must be able to measure the performance of your people. And there are ways to measure it. Number one is to plan. I will say plan. The first that you must have performance management plan. How do you plan? You plan by saying that, what are the things that I want to see this person do? How will this person be able to do this? And so on. You must be able to plan. Now, I usually tell people that you can get templates online. You can get various templates of performance management. Now, you want to assess them based on skill, based on knowledge, based on attitude, based on the student performance, based on the result they are producing, based on attitude, based on their experiences, based on their learning capacity, and so on. So you must have criteria to, and then of course you must plan it. Then you must also plan the assessment. Okay, is it going to be weekly? Is it going to be quarterly? Is it going to be annual? Is it going to be at the end of the term? But I usually recommend two times assessment. One at the half of the term and the second at the end of the term. So that by the half of the term, you are able to measure the growth of your student and of the organization and of the staff itself. So it must in assessment must be a three-way thing. Your primary consumer is your student. You must be able to assess your student. Are these students growing? Are they learning? Are they becoming better? Are they acquiring skill? And so on. So, and then it is that feedback that you'll be able to know whether the teachers are doing their work. Number two is the teacher is assessed. You must be able to assess it based on his own works. If a teacher is on level 1, by the end of the term, the person must have graduated to level 2 in terms of the skill, Maybe the person cannot speak very well before. By the end of the time, was able to speak well. So you must be able to assess the teacher itself to check the person is going in attitude, in skill, in character, and so on. Then you must be able to also assess the school overall, the economic value of the school. Is the school going? Is the school becoming better? What about the branding of the school? What about the systems in place? What about the structures? What about the facilities? What about the income? What about the talent retention? And so on. So you must do this at least 2 times in a term. So when you are able to assess, then you can measure based on the goals that you have. Okay, at the end, at the mid of this term, we are so that is as far as knowledge is concerned, we are 20%. So we now plan that before the end of the term, we want to 40%. That is how to multiply because we have been able to measure. So must be able to measure, must be able to assess. Then after assess, you measure. After measuring, you plan. After planning, you monitor. After monitoring, you multiply. That is how to manage performance. And then, as you are planning, you are also monitoring. When you say people should do something, and it's work of the HR. If you don't have HR, you can do this. But if you have HR, like I've strongly suggested, the HR must be able to monitor. Are people doing their work? What they are expected to? Are they getting results? Then, if you have given somebody a task, you must be able to monitor. And then the next one is ensure that they are developing the process. Then you must be able to review processes, review activities, review goals, review activities to ensure that whatever they are still aligned with what you want to achieve. And then reward. To manage performance, you must be able to reward performance. It is when you reward, people are motivated to do more. So these are important. So performance management is so the key word in performance management is very simple. Planning, then designation. When you plan, designate. When you designate, you monitor. When you monitor, you assess and give feedback. When you assess, you measure, and so on. These are important practices as far as performance management is concerned. The next slide, the next one. The next one of the roles is recruitment and selection. I have mentioned a lot about recruitment. You application, screening, interviews, then onboarding, then training, then formalizing. These are processes in recruitment and selection. And then people must be very clear on what they want to do and so on. Now, next slide. I'll be able to talk about that one extensively. Move on to the next slide. I think we'll talk about this one. Move on. Now, another part is compensation. No, go back to compensation, the last slide. Compensation and benefits. Now, if you are running a private organization, apart from the normal salary you are getting, are benefits. People, one of the things that retain talent in an organization is job security and job benefit. When people know that they are not losing their job anytime soon, the environment is not sending a signal they are going to lose their job. They are secure in their mind. Their mind is at rest. They want to improve. They want to become better. They want to give more to the organization. And then the second one is that they are enjoying benefits. They are enjoying benefits. So all these are very, very important as far as your organization is concerned. So that if it's a private organization, there must be benefits. Apart from salary, health, the health policy, so that you know that you care, the pension, the retirement plans, and other benefits. And then there must be a reward system. Maybe you set a goal and a particular teacher was able to achieve it. There must be a reward system. It's not necessarily money. It could be a medal. It could be a letter of appreciation. It could be a letter of recommendation, and so on. It could be that anybody that's able to achieve this deadline at a certain time will be go to all expense paid training. It could be you can give the person a 1-day treat as in a school restaurant or hotel, and so on like that. Be a travel plan, and so on like that. These are things that make people want to commit their whole lives to a particular organization because they understand that there are benefits, there are security, there is growth, they are well taken care of. So compensation and benefit, if it's a private organization, have a compensation plan. If you are only a private organization, that if somebody has spent a year with the organization, this is what is entitled to. These are the benefits, these are the compensation plan, these are the reward system. These are a part of the reward system. Celebrate your teachers. Do award day. So, ask your students to compensate them, to celebrate them. Do prize-giving day for your teachers. Do teacher get together, and so on. Now, if people understand all of these are in place, they want to stay. So have a compensation and benefit plan. If a person has spent 5 years, the person must know that they are entitled to certain things. If they have spent 10 years, people will stay if they know what is at stake. People will stay if they know what is at stake. They will stay. If I know that if I spend 5 years in organization, I'm entitled to a car loan. So I am already planning that after 5 years, I want to get the car. So if they know that after 10 years, they're entitled to this, to travel plan, and so on like that. So have a compensation and benefit plan for people that are spending 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Have compensation plan. Have a structured plan for your organization. It is very important, and benefits. Okay, so having said that, these are part of a function of human resources, compensation and benefit plan. Now, to the next slide. To the next slide. Now, move to the next slide so that we can, because there are other things that we want to begin to discuss. Move to the next slide. Now, another part of human resources, now the previous slide. Another part of human resources is employee relations, employer-employee relation, or leader-follower relation. This involves positive relationship with your staff to promote a collaborative environment. And activities under this include conflict resolutions and management. You must have a conflict resolution policy that if something happens within an organization, what is the next step? So everybody understand that if 2 teachers or 2 workers are fighting, the next thing, this is the person they need to meet. This is the next, they need to write apology letter. They need to do this. There must be well spelled out policy as far as conflict resolution or conflict management or crisis within the organization is concerned. You talk about communication, team building abilities. So there must be a robust relationship between you, the leader, and the follower. These are also key functions of the human resource. The next slide. The next slide. I don't want us to spend that. Now, under employee-employer relationship, how do we improve that? Go back to the last slide so I can quickly talk about employee-employer relationship. Now, let me tell you, but it's not in this slide. I'll just highlight them for you. Number 1, let's talk about employee relations process. Employee relations process. You have 4 processes in employee. Like I said, employer relation has to do with managing complete and effective communication and team building. That's all what employee-employer relations is all about. Now, in employee relations process, the first thing is conciliation. Conciliation. That's the first process. Conciliation. conciliation. Conciliation has to do with resolution. Dispute resolution. How you resolve crisis or conflict. The next process is what is called mediation. Mediation. In mediation, we are making recommendations to the employer and the staff, whether formal or informal. Okay, this is what has happened. We are recommending that you can do this. So there is mediation. The next one is arbitration. Arbitration means you are solving that conflict in a legal way. You are involving a legal resolution. Now, arbitration should be your last resort. Arbitration should be your last resort. On no occasion should we think there's a conflict you have gone to legal what's it called. It's a continuance of what's it called. So, but you must have done conciliation, mediation over time before you resort to arbitration. And the last one process is integration, employee discipline, and industrial relation. Ensure that your organization is well known and listed with professional organization. If you are running a private organization, be with private bodies, and let your staff also be in unions and organizations, so that if there are disputes, they have people that you can call to put them into order. So these are very, very important. And again, how do you improve employee relations? How do you improve employee relations? Number one, promote communication. Ensure that you promote communication. Mutual communication without fear or doubt. Ensure that there is mutual communication without fear or doubt. A trained human resources manager, or if you are serving that role, we want to see that there is, because the backbone or the life wire of any organization is communication. If there is no effective communication, processes are not established, protocols are not institutionalized, systems are not put in place, operations are not standardized, structures are not analyzed. So communication is very, very important. And the communication must be clear and must be without fear or doubt. People must be able to express themselves in a logical and formal manner and a professional manner. So there must be proper communication. You must recognize, appreciate, and reward people. Let there be regular encouragement for people. Let there be regular recognition. Don't silence their voices through your actions. There must be proper recognition. Everybody must be truly recognized that they belong to the system. So there must be proper recognition. There must be proper appreciation. When people do things that are right, please appreciate them. Through letters, through word of mouth, through medals, through bonuses, and so on. Appreciate them and reward them. Then another one, to ensure proper employee relation, treat people equally and fairly. Do not take side. Do not be partial. And even if you love one person more than the other, you must not show it as a trained human resources manager or as a leader. Because when you begin to show it, you begin to diminish the motivation and the self-esteem people have in the organization. So people must be treated, there must be a culture of equity, equality, and fairness. Then the next one is that train, invest, and offer career development programs or advices. Once in a while, you can call your staff and if you have a trained HR, yes, they work on the train, call them. And again, may I say this? Let your staff have what is called a career development plan. We call it CDP. People working with you must have this plan. And you too also have it. The essence is that you are able to monitor and measure. You monitor, measure, and you manage. You monitor, you measure, and you manage their career goals and development. If they see that you're able to monitor and measure it, they want to work with you. Monitor and measure it. Monitor and measure it and manage it. So part of the management and monitoring is that you are calling them. You say you want to achieve this goal by 6 months, and I observe that you're not able to. What is the problem? How can we help you? People function, people will produce that kind of environment because they understand that you care. They understood that you care. Now, the next thing is to trust and share the company vision. Have a weekly status briefing. Graphicize work. Let them. I usually, if I go for a performance management in an organization, if they employ me, if they hire me, we go for performance management. One of the exercises I give people in the organization is to tell them or assess them if they understood the organization vision and goals. By that, I will know where the organization is heading. You do not expect result from the person that does not even understand or internalize your goals and visions. Even as a leader, I will ask them, what is your leader's vision? What are your leader's targets? What is the goal you are trying to achieve? I want to know if the feedback I'm getting is not true, I know where the problem is coming from. So you must sell to them, let them know the vision, the goals, the target of the organization, and then trust them with it. Let them internalize it, let them know it, let them express it, let them say it, let them recite it. And then in your meetings, you emphasize it. Again, let there be weekly discussion meeting and status briefing. Graphicize work process, which is in a graphics. After this is what we are doing next. Then set goals after them and make people feel bad. These are ways by which you can improve employer-employee relationship. I hope you are jotting down because that one is not in the slide. I want us to jot it down. Now, next slide, please. Let's quickly move so that I will start running. So other functions include employee engagement and retention, policy development and implementation, employee communication, compliance and risk management, data review, decision making, and so on. These are other aspects of human resources. Next slide. Not be able to finish because it's a whole lot of things. And so, what are the challenges we have in what's it called? We are going to discuss these challenges again. So you have to challenge this one. Teacher shortage, limited resources, diverse student needs, changing educational landscape, and maintaining work-life balance. These are key challenges. One of them is you want to manage, but what they are not there at all. So teacher shortage is a major problem. The resources to manage, to multiply them, don't have it enough. So there are diverse students. We are trying to solve a lot of things, and at the same time manage human resources. So it's a whole lot of challenges to take time, energy, and so on. Then changing educational landscape. New policies are coming in, new programs are coming in, and so on. That affect you. And of course, you are trying to maintain your own work-life balance as well. Because it requires time to manage, multiply, and measure. So these are key challenges in nature. The next slide. So 5 common hurdles in HR. I will not talk more about it. Number 1 is the poor working conditions. Now, if there are no poor working conditions, that human resources management suffer, you won't be able to achieve anything with it. Then another hurdle is acquiring skill set to get the skill set. The skill set is another problem. Another hurdle. The next one is talent retention. So you now acquire them, how to retain them. Then challenges in budget because we need money to maintain. And then leaders development. These are key major aspects of key major challenges of HR in today's world of work. The next slide. best practices, collaborative leadership, professional development opportunities, diverse and inclusive work environment, employee recognition, and what, and of course, strategic management. I'm trying to round up now. The next slide. Move on to the next slide. Let's move on to campus. So, in conclusion, human resources in education plays a vital role, and it is expected that you, as a leader, like I've said, you can send people to post your staff, let them become HR, and let them perform that function. Right? You can hire an HR. You can hire an external HR. For instance, my organization now has HR department. So organizations like yours can hire us to be your HR. Can hire us to be your HR. What's it called? We have flexible rates, very minimal rates. Yeah, depending on what you want us to do. So we have some plans that requires that we do. We have a plan that requires that we do all those functions for you. We have a plan that requires that you just want. You just want us to assess your staff. You want us to train them. We have a plan that does like 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and so on. You can hire external HR bodies like us. You can train your staff from an HR. You yourself can train yourself and serve with HR. But it is important that you have an HR because the benefits are very far. So why need to hire HR as I begin to conclude that? So that you don't have one person for a job. You must understand what fits what or who fits what. Because one of the key mistakes leaders do is that they fit in people to wrong places. And then those people are frustrated, they lose motivation, they are not committed, their productivity is low, and of course they become rebellious on the long run because they are trying to express themselves. So you must put people, the right person, the right place. So I'm one of the that's why you need human resources. Number 2, so that you can express a high turnover, so that your human asset they can be highly productive. And then to avoid not doing their best, because what you need to get the best is to have people that are the best. What you need to get the best is to have people that are the best, or to make people become the best. It is when people become the best that you are going to get the best results. So it is important that we understand human resources management so that you can have people giving their best. Then so that you not be experimenting, not waste time and resources. Because one of the things you often find out in education space of setting is that a lot of leaders are experimenting. They try this one today, they try it, and it's because of gap in knowledge. So now that you know what to do, so it is important that you don't waste time because you know the right thing decision to make. Now, as I begin to round up again, let me talk about the 10 C's of human resources management. That one is not in the slide. I want to mention them. The 10 C's of human resources management. Number 1 is cost effectiveness. One of the key management is that you want to get the highest result to cost. You want to maximize. You want to get the highest result. Please, this person, please move to mic. Or else I will remove you. Now, like I was saying, you want to get the best result, little cost. That's one of the things. So, in human resources management, we want to ensure that we are cost effective. At the same time, we are getting the right results. The next one is coherence. Coherence of plans, coherence of policies, coherence of targets and milestones, coherence of what to achieve. So there must be coherence, there must be credibility. If they say yes, yes is yes, and no is no. There must be effective communication. Human resources management requires creativity. You need to think outside the box to get a result that is right. competitive advantage, competence, change, commitment, and so on. These are the tenses of human resources management. So as we wrap up, to achieve productivity, because the key word in human resources, again, is to manage, and to multiply. And the sum total of it is that your human assets are productive. There is a purpose, there are processes, and there are products that we are looking at. So to achieve those productivity, the perspective matter, the potential matters, the priority matters, the purpose matter, the pattern matters, the performance matter, and the participation matters. So productivity is at the top of the platform of the organization. And to be productive, you need to manage, you need to build, manage, and multiply your resources. In our next class, I will be talking about peak performance. How you ensure highest level of productivity. But before then, this is human resources. Like I've said again, you can train yourself to be human resources. You can train your one of your staff. How you can begin to apply everything I've mentioned. You can hire organizations like ours to be the HR of your organization. So I think with this, I will stop for now. Ensure that there is proper management of human assets to your organization. Of course, you must manage your facilities very well. You must manage your financial resources. But at the same time, you must also manage human resources. Because at the end of the day, it is human that determines the level at which you're going to. Thank you for now. And let's go to questions before that our activity. Let's move on to questions. I can take questions. I can take questions. If you have questions, you can. If you have questions, you can signify. If you have questions, you can signify, so you can ask your questions. If you have questions, anybody with question? Dando, Missy, with Patrick, Caroline, Bayi, Manaka, Gale, Mapula, Pilis, Richard, Rosalind, Sarah, Seja, Joyce, Solomon Dale. I'm expecting questions from us. Do you have any question? Any question whatsoever? Okay, in the absence of question, we have looked at the challenges in human resources management. We have looked at challenges in human resources management. We have also looked at challenges in training and development. We want us to focus on that. This is going to be like a competition. The male leaders will tell us how we can solve training and development challenges. And the female leaders will tell us how we can solve what's it called? Human resources challenges. Yeah. Nisi, since you are using a system, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I
Nisi?
can.
Oh, very good. Since you are using a system and I made you take polls, can you create a breakout room in that place? Create a breakout room. I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to go into breakout room and discuss thoroughly from your knowledge of human resources. We are going to discuss thoroughly the challenges of training and development, challenges of human resources management that we have mentioned, and the solutions. And then you are also going to discuss how you are going to set up human resources your own organization. And now, and what you are going to do as a leader. Nisi, can you play that breakout room now? Just play 2. The male leaders will go into 1, and the female leaders will go into 1. And we're going to use 10 minutes. Come back, give me feedback, and I'll ask questions, and then we'll wrap it up for today's class. Nisi, have you been able to create the breakout room?
No, I've never created any breakout rooms
Even before.
before.
Ah.
Yes.
Kubai, are you there? Mr. Kubai, are you there? Oh, Kubai is not here. I'm not using my system. Just check the functions there. Check through your software, through the icons. You will see breakout room. You will see record, breakout room, and the likes. Have you been able to see it?
Yes, I can see it. So
Now,
it's
so
creates and the number breakout rooms assign automatically.
Yes. Just put 2 breakout rooms. Number of breakout rooms will be 2. The male leaders, name it as male leaders discussion group, female leaders discussion group. And then everybody will now join. When it will pop up here, and everybody will join.
Okay, it says let participants choose room. Then
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So very good. Okay. Yes. So your assignment is very simple. Your classwork, and it's going to be a good project. After discussing, you appoint somebody that will give me the feedback.
For how many minutes?
10 minutes. Or let's make it 15 minutes, so that if there is any extra discussion you want to make, you can have it.
Okay.
So I think you have learned one thing again today now, how to create a breakout room. Abby, Nisi.
I'm not sure if it's showing on your site.
Yeah, it's showing already. Yes, male and female, good. So everybody, you will see a breakout room on your screen now. If you are a female, click on female, and it will take you directly to that breakout room. If you are a male, click on the male, take it directly to the breakout room. I will be here waiting for you. And exactly 15 minutes, the breakout room will close, so that I can bring you back here. Can we start joining now? I expect you to be leaving this place now. You will start leaving. Join the breakout rooms now. Can we start joining? I hope yes, people have started joining. I hope everybody can hear me. I must be the only one that will be left here. Start joining the breakout rooms now. You will see it pop up on your screen. You will see breakout room on your screen. You will see breakout room on your screen. I expect, please go. You are not supposed to be here now with me. I'm supposed to be the only one here. I'm supposed to be the only one here now. Others go. Please go. Let me. Wood, go. Manaka, go. Please click on that breakout room and join. Please. Mapula, go and join.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling to join.
Just click on you will see it. Just click on it. You will see it. You will see it pop up. You will see breakout room there. Everybody, you must not be here. You are not expected to be here now. Go and join with it. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, but I'm struggling.
I'm still seeing us here. We are not supposed to be here, please. Go and join the breakout room. You are not supposed to be here. If you are here now, you are wrong. I'm supposed to be the only one here. If you are here now, you are wrong. I'm supposed to be the only one here. I'm supposed to be the only one here. Go and join the breakout room. Your 15 minutes have started already. Go and participate in the group discussion. Oh yeah. Shego, Joyce, Seja, Mapula, Manaka, please leave this central room. Go to the breakout room. Go and engage in the discussion. Go and engage in the discussion. Others that are remaining. Solomon Dale, please go to the breakout room. You are not supposed to be here, everybody.
I'm trying.
Solomon Dale, please, can you go to the breakout room now? Your voice can be heard here.
Hello, where do I go?
I've been saying it. That means you have not been following the lecture. You have a breakout room pop up on your screen. If you are a male, go to the male. If you are a female, go to the female. Click on that male or female and go there.
Which icon? Sir, which icon are we supposed to press?
What do you say?
Which icon that you made?
You will see breakout room at the top of your screen. There's a breakout room
We
here.
see start
Just click on
video participation.
breakout room. Breakout room. You will see it at the left-hand corner of your phone or device. The breakout room is there. Just click on the breakout room and click on whether male or female. If you are here, you are wrong. You are not supposed to be here.
At the top of the screen.
Top of the screen. Okay.
Somebody has gone. Somebody has gone again. Yes. Seja, Makula, all of you, please go to the breakout room. I'll see you in the next 12 minutes. You are not supposed to be here. Go to your breakout rooms. Thank you. Seja and Chego, please go back to your breakout rooms. Go back to your breakout room. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back from that discussion platform. I hope that you are able to join back. We are waiting for others to be back.
Wait.
It's back now. Okay, so welcome back, everybody, from welcome back from the short discussion that you have. I hope it was interesting. I hope the breakout session was interesting, as I wanted it to.
I like this.
Okay. Can I have feedbacks from the breakout sessions? Feedbacks from the breakout sessions. I want a representative for the males and a representative for the females. Who is representing the male? Who is representing the males?
Peter, I will represent the males.
Okay, let's have you. Yes,
Oh,
can
should I?
you? Yes,
Should
move
I
on,
start?
move on. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Oh, with the males, we were only two, and when we were still discussing, there was a breakdown in network. But I'm just gonna talk around what we were discussing before the breakdown.
Okay.
Okay. So when we were discussing, we were able to come to a consensus that it's best in an organization to identify a few or selected a group of people that can be trained, and we use them to pass those skills to the rest of the staff. And the other thing was, since funding around training is also a challenge, we can, as an organization, identify online platforms which we think can help us impart the skills we want to impart. Then we have people that we assign to attend those programs while we monitor them. Then later on, they come and train the rest of the staff. So in that way, we'll be able to cut on the costs that are associated with training, but at the same time, we'll be able to address the challenge of lack of trained staff. Yeah, that was it.
What challenges are you addressing? What work did I give you? You know, we have to work. Challenges in training. We are discussing challenges in training, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you have been able to identify two key solutions. Please, I hope others are noting it down. So these are the challenges in training: limited resources, resistance. Now, were you able to discuss resistance to change? What if in a scenario, the people do not want to change, they don't want to attend to it? Because I've seen cases where, from experience, I was in a particular place, And then if I was even trying to train them for free in that environment, they were still not interested. They said what they have known is what is putting food on their table and they are satisfied with it. What if you have resistance? What if you have resistance to change? What do you do as a leader in that case?
With regard to that, we didn't get to that point, but from my head, I think, as you were saying earlier, that we as leaders need to have our employees give us their career development plan. I think it can start there, where it's mandatory for every employee to submit their career development plan, and we are able to hold those individuals accountable in that regard, to say, you said to us, maybe during this period, with regard to the skills that we want to have our employees acquire, you are not doing anything in that regard. So we can hold them accountable in that way.
Okay. Very good. Excellent. Do you have anybody? Now, let me throw it to you out.
Yes.
You as a leader, yes, you as a leader, if you're having problem, people are resistant to change. They don't want to get trained. What can you do as a leader? Okay, I think I see a hand up. Mr. Richard.
Thank you so very much. In addition to what my...
Mr. Richard.
Yes, speaking. Can you hear me?
You have the floor. Move on.
Yes, I said in addition to what my male colleague have just responded to, I want to say this, that capturing training in performance appraiser will have a way, it will induce every member of staff, whether you like it or not, to participate. So that during performance appraiser, there will be a section for endorsement of the different trainings that have been participated in and completed. So when in performance appraiser, the staff are aware that there is a column that will be rated for participation in training, and also the application of a skill acquired through such training will also be measured. I think it will have a way, it will induce positive attitude, because let's just take this, employee will always be averse to training once in a while, but whether they are averse to it positively or negatively, training is very essential for the organization. And also having a kind of incentive in the form of incentive in the form of promotion or whatever that can add value to other people that took training seriously will also help positively to change the general perspective about training in the organization. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I love your submission, and I hope everybody is learning because I've asked opportunity. I've had people ask these questions, and of course, I wanted people to contribute. I wanted us to contribute so we can know that. Now, when people, like they have said, one of the ways to, let me start with this. If people are showing resistance, you as a leader need to take leadership in that situation. When people notice that you are improving, then you begin to share your story that is coming from the training you have gone to. That we see that things are happening. Of course, when you attend training and you are utilizing it as a leader to show it the organization. And when people see that things are beginning to change, you now have more knowledge, you have more experience, you are bringing some initiatives, you are putting things in place, they begin to wonder what is happening. And then you begin to share your story with them that I attended a particular training, I also learned this and that, I'm improving. Now, your story can motivate others. So it must start from you. That's the first thing. So when there are resistance to things, that means that the leader may not be exemplifying whatever he's saying. Then the second one is the performance appraiser, as I said. When you are managing performance, you are putting there that training is a point. There must be a point that a training will earn you 5 points. And then when you have not done the performance appraiser, the person that has the highest, of course, your performance appraiser we not only give feedbacks to the teachers, we tell you the state of every teacher, and then of course they understand that in that organization, your performance appraiser will determine whether you are going to be promoted, whether you are going to get benefits, whether you are going to get incentive, whether you have access to one or two things or the other. And they know that training is part of their performance appraiser. Of course, they want to do it as well. So these are measures you can put in place that can ensure that people attend training or they lower the resistance to change. Then for sustainability, how do you sustain? Let me hear from another person. How do you sustain trainings and development? Because another experience leaders have is that they might start and they'll not be able to continue. Can we have your let me have your because I want this thing to be very, very interactive. Like we are sharing now. Please don't use it as a training alone. Make sure you begin to practicalize what these are live examples. How do we make trainings and development sustainable in the organization? That will not just be motivated and start now, and after 3 months, everything has died. How can we put things in place to ensure that training and development in the organization is sustainable over time? I want to have feedback on that as well. Before we now move to the second group. How do we ensure trainings and development are sustainable over time? Do you have anybody I want to share with us? Do you have anybody I want to share with us? Okay, Mr. Richard.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Now, like since after COVID, you discover that we have a lot of, for educators, we now have a lot of training platform that have emerged and are functional and operational. Now, like Framer Space and some others, especially for digital skills, leadership skills. Now, if we have a kind of whole school program, I give an example. In the school where I work, I'm in charge of online training. And I want to say this, for the digital educator, digital teacher training on Framer Space, how to make our educators to all pass through it. Number one, you have to complete the program. You have to show evidence of completion, because it has its own point. Now, every year, we have this in-house plan. Number one, every term, there must be at least one training session for each half term. Then there will be another set of training session that is being outsourced or will send educators for such program. And I say this, that when people get to the top level, VPs and the principal cadre, there are also programs that takes them abroad. So there is a kind of scaled program in-house for different category, and it is consistent. And like the Emerald Consort now, there are consorts like that we also invite to come and take our teachers on maybe a particular gap analysis, a gap that we have discovered. It can be on customer relationship, it can be on managing student misbehavior. So we have a program that consistently per half term, there is an in-house program. Then per term, there's a program that is outsourced and people are sent outside. See, there's a problem with schools that don't send their teachers outside. Those teachers will just grow unnecessary scale over time and they will not be able to impact. So school leaders, when people are sent out, they come back, we gather the information and now ask them, how can these things you have learned be applied to our own organization? So like that, you discover that training program can be scaled over time and it will become a consistent thing. I tell you the truth, people will start looking forward to it, provided the topics that are picked. They are relevant to the growth, development, and performance of the people in the system. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like I usually say, some people will say, I'm consulting for 2-3 schools currently. I usually consult my consulting now has taken me to about 40 schools currently, and I have 2 new ones that I just onboarded this time. Now, one of the things when we were doing interaction, a strategy session, the woman said they started, but they noticed that there were a lot of setbacks. They could not continue. I said, number one, you don't have plans for it. You don't have budget for it. Now, if you are a private organization or public organization, please have plans for it. That every human resources aspect that we have talked about, please go and sit down, because they are the aspect that makes your school a proper school. When you are able to manage people, you can manage anything and you can get any result, any good result. So I now told her, let me help you draft out a training plan such that it will be sustainable. Now, and I said, okay, how much are you willing to give to training every year to start with? And she said, so amount. Okay, I said, we are going to work on this budget for you every year. So what we did was that at the beginning of the term, I will go there to train their teachers. As a team, I will go there to train their teachers. Now, at the middle of the term, at the second half of the term, now, after we have come there to do performance analysis and evaluation, one of the reward for performing well is that you have opportunity of being sent to a quality training. At least the first, second, third, we have opportunity to be sent to quality training opportunities. So with that, we now said again, are your teachers on platforms like this or platforms like this? Okay, let them join our own global educators platform. Let them join our own global school leaders or their school leaders, and then you to join our school owners program. So they join. I also introduce them to other educator platforms. Let them be learning from there. So with that, with our budget and with the planning, and I said we also identify a lot of skill gap. And I said which one is the most important? We identified the both. We pay them from A to now we are at D. In the next 2 years, we are looking at D, which will be technology integration. So that I said in the next 3 years, we want to be fully technology integrated. So our next phase of trainings will be on technology. How to prepare slide, how to digitize learning, how to digitize systems, and so on. So with that, with proper planning, there can be sustainability. Now, when you have proper planning and then you have the proper budgeting, that this is what I can afford for now. Later on, you can scale it so that it can be improved. So every school leader here have a proper training plan for your school. And then, of course, ensure that you are following it so that you can be sustainable. Okay, so not to waste much time, let's have the second group give their report. The female leaders, please give your reports. Female leaders, please give your reports. Who is your representative? Who is your representative? Oh, Mr. Mugadi, I saw your hand up. Were you trying to ask a question?
Hello, sir.
Yes, were you trying to ask a question, sir? I saw your hand up.
No, it was just a small addition.
Okay. What to add more addition?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think one way of making sure that training continues is if organizations can align staff training and development with their organizational goals. So in that way, they are able to cultivate the culture of learning. So I think when people get to that point where they realize this is how things are done here, we can continue to have training and development non-stop.
Yes, you are very right. Culture of learning is very important. In fact, and this woman I was talking about, one of the things we developed is what's it called? Book reading. Every staff, books relating to education. So I told that to create a book shelf, a book for staff alone. They have library, so that staff also have their own small library, just a chair, and then you're expected to read a book per month. And then of course, at one point, there is a review of that book online. It's not offline; they just read it online. So somebody will be free to read the book. Everybody must go to it. Now the essence is that everybody understand that you must grow in knowledge over time. So the more you read, so if you are in that kind of organization and you are reading one book per month, at the end of the year, you are reading 12 books on education, on teaching and the like. There is no way you are not going to perform better. So culture of learning is very important as far as sustainability to training and development is concerned in an organization. Females, we are waiting for you. Females, we are waiting for you. Tando, who is representing you? Nisi, who is representing you?
We got cut before we were discussing who's going to present for us. Ladies, anyone can go. Phyllis, Roslyn. Yeah.
Yes, we need a representative from this. Give us what you discussed. Let us get the feedback of what you discussed. Please, who is going? The females. Who wants to talk? Who wants to talk? The females are not producing anybody, and you are the you have the highest possible participant here. Tando, please appoint someone now. I expect you to have appointed. In case of next time, please ensure you appoint someone that will give feedback. It's part of training. You must be able to give feedbacks of whatever you have discussed. It's part of learning. So that we are sure that one, you discuss, then two, that discussion you understand, and three, there is a consensus of that. Okay, so
noted. Say so. Maybe they can add from what I'm going to say. I will need backup, ladies. Okay, so we chose number 2, which was resistance to change, and then we discussed your traditional way of teaching, that teachers, they still prefer to go to class with a chalk and a duster. They feel more confident and comfortable when they have those two. And so we also discussed what can be done, to provide a solution. And then we said we have to offer training, encourage teachers to get more empowerment, deal with their attitude, have positive attitude, and also increase their confidence in class while they're using the AI, for example. And then we also had a point about dangers of resisting change, which we mentioned that they'll be left behind and the possibility of being extinct. So ladies, let's not be extinct in this presentation. Let's share. Yeah. And then we had a point about how we're going to motivate them to stay in training, offer incentives, and then we have to have uplift their morals as educators. And yeah, mentioned about also invite teachers to be present in class. There are teachers who are very much into technology. So we invite those teachers who are still not sure about using technology in class and we have them watch or also participate while the other teacher is using the technology that is available. And yeah, we have to do things that we fear the most. Yeah, ladies, did I leave
Okay.
anything behind?
Take me to challenges in human resources. I don't know if you have any other lady that want to talk about it. Nisi, just take me to challenges in human resources. And they want so. There's a particular question I want to ask. That's what we are going to wrap up. If you have any female leader here that still want to talk about it, please. Want to have your feedback. It's very important. You want to be very sure that they are giving something. They are going here, living with something substantial. You leave it here. Now, there is a question I want to ask on that challenges of human resources in education. In all of this, how do we overcome teacher shortages, limited resources? Now, a major problem people have been school leaders have provided is retention. In your own as a leader now that you have listened to this session, how do you solve teacher shortage problem? How do you retain teacher with still limited resources? I want it to be open, and that's why we are going to go to the. I want it to be open. How do you solve the problem of teacher shortage and then teacher retention, even with limited resources as a leader? I'm expecting feedback. How do we do we have anybody that wants to talk about it? If you are not talking about it, I will make it as an assignment. You are going to write a research paper on it, and you are going to submit. This is a class, and of course, I think that you know that if I'm teaching, I teach like a teacher. Of course, and the essence is that you want to be sure that we are not only telling you theory. There's something you can see. It's something you can particularize. It's something you can take home and say, let me start this thing. And if you are comfortable with any of it, it's something you can solve. That's the essence of this training. It's not just to acquire knowledge. If you have limited resources, how do you prevent teacher shortage? And how do you prevent teachers? Okay, since nobody is responding, it's going to be an assignment. You are going to write a comprehensive research and your action plan on how you are going to retain teachers and manage teacher shortages with limited resources. It's part of human resources. That's the high level of management. When there's limited resources and you are achieving your results, you are able to manage teacher shortages and of course retain teachers. So you have to submit this particular assignment. My next class with you is on you have a class on Friday. I think my next class with you is on is it Friday now? I'll go and check. Okay, my next class with you is Thursday. The slides will be shared.
Please repeat the assignment again.
Now let me repeat the assignment. The assignment is, as a leader, how do you manage teacher shortages and retain teachers and ensure teacher retention, even with limited resources? How do you manage teacher shortages? Retain teachers with limited resources in this repository. So we want to see that give us responses, compare and contrast. You can give life experience to be submitted on Thursday before our next class. Our next class is going to be on peak performance. How do you ensure your teachers perform at their very best? So this particular topic will be to that one, and your particular answer will be to that one. How do you ensure that your people are performing your teachers? How do you as a leader to perform at your highest level? So it's going to be an interesting time again. And like I said, you can make strategies, ensure that you engage. Because classes like my own, and people that have done workshops in, if I'm not missing one now, I've done workshop and trainings over 200 plus schools. And everywhere I've gone to, they don't want me to leave. Why? Because it's always engaging. We work with worksheets, we interact. I love interaction because we want it to be practical. I don't like to be a one waiting just to download knowledge from you. Knowledge acquisition is good, but practicality of this knowledge is important. And then we must bring it down to our own experiences so that when we find ourselves in another time, that knowledge and the practicals we have experienced can be used for us. That's the essence of it. So the peak performance is going to be an interactive class. We are going to be using a workbook and then we'll be having interactions. So the question again is, how do you manage teacher shortages and retain teachers and ensure teacher retention with limited resources? How do you manage teacher shortages and ensure effective teacher retention with limited resources? So with this, we have come to the end of the classes today. And then I hope that you have been able to understand what HR is, why HR is important in your organization. You have also been able to understand the key aspects and functions of HR within your own organization. And now you can go about it either by training yourself or getting external organization like ours that has an HR firm to work with your organization. We have also looked at challenges of HR education, challenges of some of the key aspects, and how we can solve them. With this, I hope you are able to manage human resources for you. As a leader, like I've said, your key task, your humans are the greatest asset or resources of an organization. And your duty as a leader is to manage, and to multiply human resources like well. I hope with this, you'll be able to learn the creative and the strategies that we have said. We are putting them down so you can start putting them in practice. So, the next time that we are going to meet, thank you for listening, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much.